There are several incredible man-made structures on Earth, some of which were built years before civilization, which only makes them even more impressive. These monuments were erected without the help of the modern tools and technology we have today. It leads us to wonder how they were able to build these structures all those years ago. Each structure was uniquely designed to serve a certain purpose, and although there are structures whose original purpose remains mostly unknown, it doesn't stop historians from creating several theories. There are many theories surrounding the amazing structures we see today. One of these incredible structures is the pyramids, in particular the pyramids of Giza. There are over 100 pyramids in Egypt, and they were built 4,500 years ago. They have survived earthquakes, storms, and other natural disasters, but remained unaffected. These pyramids are strong and sturdy, even though they have existed for thousands of years. In ancient times, pyramids were created to serve as the final resting place for Egyptian monarchs. The Great Pyramid of Giza is the tallest among the pyramids, and it was created as a tomb for King Kufu, while the Pyramid of Kofrae and the Pyramid of Menenkor were for his son and grandson. The Pyramid of Kofrae is 448 feet tall, and the Pyramid of Menenkor is 213 feet. Beside the Great Pyramid of Giza is the Pyramid of Hetepheres, which is the final resting place of one of King Khufu's wives, Hetepheres. She is the mother of his successor Kofrae. The Great Pyramid of Giza was listed among the 7 wonders of the world. It is the oldest of the 7 wonders and is currently the only one still standing. It is the tallest pyramid in the world, standing at a magnificent 481 feet. This pyramid held the record as the tallest building for 3,800 years. That was until 1311, when it was surpassed by Lincoln Cathedral. The Great Pyramid remains the tallest pyramid in the world. There are several insane facts about this structure that make some people doubt if it is even possible for humans to achieve this sort of perfection. The pyramids are aligned to true north, which should be virtually impossible to achieve all those years ago since they didn't have a compass. However, some Egyptologists argue that the Egyptians who built the structure used the stars to guide them. Either way, it would have taken some pretty impressive math skills to achieve the perfection of the pyramids. The Great Pyramid takes up 13 acres and weighs a mind-boggling 5.9 million tons. It comprises up to 2.5 million blocks of stone. It is also important to note that some of these rocks weigh as much as 80 tons. To date, there is still a lot we don't know about the pyramids. All we have are theories and speculations with no confirmed answers. New theories are rising every day, with some claiming that the pyramids might not have even been created to serve as a tomb, and some going as far as saying it was not built by humans at all, arguing that the perfection seen in the structure could not be achieved by our uncivilized ancestors. These theories claim that aliens built the structures, and although it may seem a little far-fetched, it is understandable why some people would follow this line of thought. Admittedly, it would have been difficult to construct the pyramids all those years ago. The hours of carving and lifting the heavy blocks make it almost unbelievable that it could have been done by humans, especially without the use of modern technology. And maybe we just need to give our ancestors a little more credit. Other theories suggest that the people of Egypt used telekinetic powers to lift the rocks, and that those telekinetic powers have become dormant within all of us. Joe Rogan discussed this theory with British author Graham Hancock on his podcast.
Well, it's pure speculation that they use some sort of a telekinetic power, but it's
pure
absolute,
speculation.
But it's absolute that they did something that we don't understand.
Rogan said when Hancock brought up the theory of telekinesis. He continued by saying,
It's really old.
It's incredibly old, yeah.
To think that someone back then could do something that would perplex us today with modern machinery.
Yeah.
And that somehow or another they figured this out. It's almost like what they had done was leave behind something that was so stupendous, so monstrously impressive that it would transcend time.
Yeah.
And that you would have to look at it even thousands and thousands of years later and say, hey, like this defies conventional explanation.
In the podcast, Hancock speaks about the 70-ton granite beams that are in the chambers above the king's chamber. Allegedly, there are 5 chambers above the king's chamber in the Great Pyramid.
And these chambers are roofed and floored with granite beams that weigh about 70 tons each. And there are hundreds of them. And these 70-ton granite beams, which to put in context, a 70-ton beam is equivalent in weight to 35 large SUVs.
There are several debates about the features and stories of the pyramid, from how long it took to build to how many workers worked on it, and even whether those workers were slaves or skilled workers. At first, it was assumed that it took about 100,000 workers to complete the building and that they were slaves who were forced to work for hours a day. However, recent discovery has shown that it took about 20 to 40,000 skilled workers to handle the job. These workers were skilled professionals who were paid to do the job. To construct this building, the workers would have needed a flat surface. They would have to level the ground before starting, which could only have been done by professionals. As we said earlier, some of the stones weighed up to 80 tons. How were they able to carve it? How were they able to move it? So many questions surround the pyramids, and unfortunately, some may never be answered. What we do know is that all they had back then were chisels, pickaxes, hammers, and other less advanced tools. These workers used these tools to shape over 2 million rocks. That would have taken them hours to shape just a single rock. It is rumored that the entire structure took over 20 years to build. The exact number of years is estimated to be about 27. This means that some workers might have spent their lives working on the pyramid. The outside of the pyramid is made out of limestone, but the inside is granite. Granite is almost as hard as diamond, and diamond is the hardest rock, so you can just imagine how hard it would have been to carve several tons of granite with only a chisel and a hammer. These rocks were carved to perfection and then hauled up to create the pyramids. There are allegedly 5 million tons of limestone and 8,000 tons of granite. Some discoveries indicate that these rocks were carved about 500 miles away from the actual pyramid site. The rocks they moved ranged from 2 to 80 tons. That means that the Egyptian workers had to carry 80-ton rocks several miles and then lift them to build the over 400-feet structure. How exactly they managed to lift the rocks is a mystery, but some Egyptologists claim that the rock was tied up and then hoisted up a spiral pathway created beside the pyramid. Others claim that the pathway was a zigzag shape. The workers would pour water on the pathway to reduce friction and lift the block a lot easier. The ingenuity and skill it would take to complete this great Egyptian monument are just one of the aspects that make it one of the most famous structures in the world. It is believed that the workers also used boats to transfer the rocks, but even getting the rocks inside the boat is an impressive feat. Once inside, the workers can take advantage of the water and sail to their destination. They would still need a lot of workers to move the rock out of the boat. Another fascinating feature of the pyramid is its ability to remain at a constant temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, no matter how hot the rest of Egypt is. The fact that there were no mummies or buried pharaohs found in the Great Pyramid fuel the theory that the pyramids were not created to serve as tombs. There is a granite coffer in the main chamber of the Great Pyramid. The coffer is too large to pass through the narrow passageway, and this suggests that the ancient Egyptian workers build the Great Pyramid around the coffer instead of it being carried inside. There are also no hieroglyphics or writings on the wall of the Great Pyramid, so there is no way to learn what exactly the pyramid was built for. The smaller pyramids in Giza that were allegedly built for King Kufu's son and grandson also have no mummies, hieroglyphics, or writings. So many questions about the pyramids remain unanswered. Hopefully, one day we will find the answers. Thank you for watching this video. Please tune in to the next video. Have a great day.